What is going on? Hello, 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 and welcome to another live lesson. Today, I'm going to share with you 10 reasons why you should work with small affiliates. Before we jump in, please tell me where you are joining us from. I always like to know that, and I need to pull up one of my notes. So say hi there. Let me know where you're joining us from. Again, it's just always fun. It's crazy. Like we did one of these just recently, and we had like people on from Pakistan and gosh, I'm trying to think where else. Pakistan, all across the U.S. Just crazy. I'm going to change my microphone as well because I realized that audio quality probably wasn't super awesome there. So welcome. I think I said 7 reasons. I'm actually going to share 10 to give you guys kind of a little sneak preview. I think we promised 7. I'm not sure what we promised. I may have told the team to say 10, but we're gonna do 10 reasons why you should work with small affiliates. And really the gist of this lesson, I apologize, I was scrambling to get ready for this today because I had another meeting, is like a lot of affiliate programs only work with larger affiliates. And so you may be thinking, well, I can't really start an affiliate program. I can't get these big affiliates. And I think that's wrong. I think that's wrong. Like, I'm not judging people who decide only work with a select group of needle movers, but I do think it's a mistake. I think it's a mistake, and that's why I want to share these reasons why you should work with smaller affiliates. Before we jump into that, though, let me be very clear on something. There is no better way to grow your list, okay? No better way to grow your list and to grow your sales than picking up a few huge affiliates. They can explode your business literally overnight. Like, you could get one big affiliate and it could completely transform your business in a matter of seconds. But for long-term growth, you need a farm system of smaller affiliates. And so I was given this example to a client the other day, and I asked them if they understood baseball. And if you understand baseball, you'll get this reference. If you don't understand baseball, then maybe I'll explain a little bit more in depth. But I was explaining that, like, there's 2 ways to kind of develop a really good Major League Baseball team. If you follow baseball, you may remember the 1997 Florida Marlins. They went out and just basically bought a team. I think the Florida Marlins only been around for like 6 years, and they went out and got a bunch of veterans that were making, at that time, $10 million was probably a pretty big contract. 15 million is a pretty big contract. They paid a lot of money. They got a bunch of great players. They won a World Series. And then the next year, all of them left because they were basically hired assassins, or mercenaries. The other way you can build a great baseball team is through the farm team. You can build a program through bringing up people through your minor league teams. That's what we're talking about today in terms of affiliates. Both ways work. It's just that one of them is longer term. It's also easier longer term. It's less work longer term, even though it might not sound like it, because it's like, oh, well, the problem with smaller affiliates, as we'll talk about, is, they require a lot of hand-holding. They require a lot of hand-holding early on, but they become some of your biggest people down the road. And so I'm going to jump in here. Let me pull up one thing here and make sure I get this out of the way so I'm not distracted by my text messages that are coming in, because I just texted myself. I am on my own text message list. I am on my own. I get my own text. So, by the way, if you want to get text from me, you want to communicate that way, it is something that I do. I engage with my text platform. I'm on there responding constantly. Just send me a text at 260-217-4619. 260-217-4619. You can get text message updates from me. It's also just a great way for us to chat back and forth, because I do respond, just to be clear. All right, so reason number 1 that you want to work with small affiliates. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago when I was talking about the future of affiliate programs. But reason number 1, so I'm not going to go like super in depth in this. Number 1, it's the future. Working with small affiliates is the future, and the future is now. Okay, the future really started 6, 7, 8 years ago. I feel like we were kind of on the front edge of that future. and we were big advocates of working with smaller affiliates. I have been practicing it and preaching it for years. And yet, a lot of people, quite frankly, weren't listening. They were still going out and saying, no, it's the 80-20 rule, right? 80% of your sales are going to come from 20% of your affiliates. Not if you run them like we do. Oh, 95% of your sales are going to come from your top 5 affiliates. Not if you run them the way that we do. And I shared those stats a couple of weeks ago. You can go back and watch that replay. That was huge. Some of the stats are just amazing. 40% of affiliate sales in a recent $5.5 million affiliate launch we ran were from first-time affiliates. 40%. They had never promoted anything as an affiliate before. You might say, well, it's not worth working with first-time affiliates. Well, you'd have missed out on over $2 million in sales. So you tell me, is $2.14 million worth the hassle of working with those smaller affiliates? I think so. Number 2, diversification. If you've ever worked with a financial advisor, right? They're going to say, like, the best financial advice I ever got was from my grandmother when I was like 10. Said, don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? Don't even put all your eggs in a few baskets. If like when we look at investing, right? We're going to put, we put some money in some big companies. These are the slow moving companies like Coca-Cola and General Motors, General Electric, right? We're going to put some in the smaller upstart stocks. These are riskier. We're going to put some in the middle. We're going to put some in Europe, some in emerging markets like India and, in Thailand and places like that. We're going to even probably put a little bit in Africa and the Middle East. And, we're going to put money like all over the place, right? Because that's diversification. A good affiliate program is just like that. You should have some huge needle movers. You should have some big affiliates. You should have some people who've maybe been around for a couple of years, but aren't really like super experienced. You should have some up and comers. You should have some newbies. You should have some people who are loyal affiliates. We'll talk about that maybe they're students of yours and they have a great story, but they only have a list of 300 people. And we just shared inside of Affiliate Insider Monthly story of a lady who had only a couple thousand people and did almost $50,000 in sales. So even what if she'd only had a couple hundred of affiliates? She could have still done $5,000 in sales. Do you want a bunch of affiliates making $5,000 in sales? I mean, like, one way you can easily get to a $500,000 launch is to have 100 affiliates make $5,000 in sales. Like, it's a really easy way to get to a $500,000 launch. You want to get to $1 million launch, you just help them get to $10,000, and you add a little bit of new blood. And so what happens is when you only have 5 affiliates, and let's just say it's split, and one of them drops out, you lose 1/5, 20% of all of your sales. When you have 500 and a few drop out, your sales might go down a little bit, but not enough to cause you to like go into shock. So one of the best ways to diversify your affiliates is to recruit affiliates outside of your network, to recruit affiliates that maybe you don't even know. So I'm going to put in a URL here in the chat. If you want to find affiliates, go to mattmcwilliams.com/first100 and grab my free report, your first 100 affiliates, and I'll show you how to recruit affiliates. The 1, 2, 3. I don't have these numbered. The third reason you want to work with smaller affiliates is people with small lists. Those small lists are more engaged. Those small lists are more engaged. Think about this. When you had, let's say you have 1,000 people on your list now. When you had 100, you were more engaged with those, or 100 than you were once you had 1,000. When you have 10, you're more engaged than when you had 100. And the same is true. As lists grow, the larger the list, the less engaged you're going to be with it. That's why I tell people all the time, if you have 200 people on your list and you're doing $1,000 a month, don't necessarily think that if you have 2,000, you're going to do 10,000. It's probably going to be more like 9,000. It's not exactly 1-to-1 because your list will be a little bit less engaged. Your list is going to be a little bit less homogenous. You're not going to have you're not going to know as many people on your list. Your first 50 subscribers, if you follow what we teach, at least you pretty much know all of them. And so one of the things that we get into is and by we, I mean like internet marketers in general, right? We often overlook the power of a close knit list of less than 5,000 people. We think you gotta have 10,000 people, of 100,000 people to succeed. It's not true. I've seen it time and time again. I've talked about this before. Mike Kim had a list of 4,000 or 5,000 people, followed what we teach, took down Jeff Walker. I've seen Rachel Luna do $50,000 in sales with a list of just a few thousand people because their lists are so engaged. And so that's a big advantage to working with small affiliates. Their lists are super engaged. And the third thing is that small affiliates learn. They learn. This kind of ties into number 5, which we'll talk about in a minute, but they attend the trainings. They come to the lessons. They take notes and they implement. They don't just learn, but they implement what we teach. So if you teach them a strategy, or you teach them, you give them a mailing plan like you should, they follow it. They do what you say to do in a way. They're new enough, they're open-minded enough, as we'll talk about in number 5, that they kind of follow what you teach. Which, speaking of number 5, smaller affiliates are generally more open-minded. They're more open-minded. They're not set in their ways. If you've only done 1 or 2 affiliate promotions, you don't have ways to be set in. So they're always looking to learn. They like I said, they come to the trainings. They read the email tips we send out. They ask questions. That's a big one. They ask a lot of questions. And some people are like, well, I don't want a bunch of affiliates asking me questions. Them asking you a question is an invitation for you to direct them. And when we teach affiliates how to promote or how to make more money promoting, it leads to the next reason why I love small affiliates and why you should be working with them. Number 6, they tend to be more loyal. They tend to be more loyal. One of the things that I've noticed over time is that affiliates who start working with us when they're small, they're usually the most loyal. They're usually the most loyal affiliates, right? And so what happens is you bring in these small affiliates. Let's just say you bring in 100 small affiliates and you treat them like gold. There was a comment on one of the Facebook Lives recently from Chris and Susan Beasley that was said something along the lines of, we promoted one of Matt's clients and they treated us like we were one of the top affiliates, even though we weren't. So you work with those 100 affiliates that are tiny. Maybe collectively they only make 50 sales. That is a half a sale an affiliate. These are tiny, tiny affiliates, but you invest in them. You fast forward 1 year later, those 100 affiliates will make you 200 sales. You fast forward another year, those 400 affiliates will make you 500 sales. Another year, they'll make you 1,000 sales. If you sell $1,000 product, that is $1 million. It's a substantial amount of money from just 100 people that originally started off basically making you nothing. And so what we found is of those 100, you fast forward 5 years, they're all still promoting. Most of them are. Why? Because they're loyal. But here's what happens. Half of them will grow by 25 to 100%. So let's just say they almost double. That's not bad. They doubled in size. It's not a huge deal, but that's kind of cool. No, but not like a huge deal, right? About 30 of them will maybe triple in size. That's cool too. Not amazing. From a half sale to 1.5 sales is not a dramatic, increase. 10 of them will quintuple to maybe 7 or 8 or 9 or 10x. It's kind of cool. They went from an average of a half sale to 4 or 5 sales. That's cool. So there's 10 left, right? 5 of those 10, they'll grow by a factor of 15 or 20. That's pretty noticeable, right? But 5 of them or 7 of them or whatever, 4 of them, they will literally grow by a factor of 50 to 250 times. Like they get on Oprah or they get featured in some major magazine, right? They write a book that becomes an international bestseller and they have a list. They go from having a list of 374 people when you started working with them and they made 1 sale to they've got a list of 250,000 people. But who do they remember? They remember you. They remember you and they are loyal to you. They remember that you gave them a chance. They remember that you treated them like they weren't a nobody. They remember that you taught them and you encouraged them, that you strategized with them. And then fast forward those 5 years, something big happened for 4 or 5 of them. They're still loyal to you. They will make you 200, 300, 400 sales, 500 maybe, massive numbers. And they'll never forget you. You know, one of the stories I often tell with regard to this, if you know college football at all, you know that every year prior to last year with COVID, and they're back to it this year, that Notre Dame plays Navy in football. Notre Dame's one of the, like, I can't stand Notre Dame, just for the record, but like they're one of like the top football programs, you know, in the country, and they play the Naval Academy every year in football. Like, why is that? Loyalty. Because going back to, I believe, World War II, Notre Dame was about to go bankrupt, but the Naval Academy came and said, or the Navy came and said, we'll use your campus as a training ground. They paid them. And every year since then, Notre Dame has said, we're going to play the Naval Academy as a repayment on that debt that we owe them. That's the kind of loyalty that you get. You know, when I first started doing affiliate marketing, I reached out to Michael Hyatt and said, hey, can I promote your 5 days to your best year ever course? This is before he became a client and before we became like one of his top affiliates. That very first launch, they took amazing care of me. I made $588. I was like, wow, the sense of loyalty I've had for Michael ever since then, like, I'm never going to forget. I will never forget how Michael gave me a chance, even though I was a nobody with a small list. And as a result of that one experience, I promoted him every year for like, then became a client. So for like 7 years or something, I either promoted them or ran their affiliate launches. And so that's the kind of loyalty you can get from your affiliates. I made $588 that first year. 2 years later, I made 20,000. I almost 40x'd. Why? Because my list grew and I got better at what I did. But I always remained loyal to Michael and his affiliate program. Reason number, what are we on? 7. Smaller affiliates will promote more often. They will promote you more often. They will promote you every year if you do a launch. They'll promote you every quarter if you have evergreen stuff. Like, they're just more willing to promote you. Now, there's 3 reasons for this. Number 1, they have less demand. Okay. Large affiliates get asked. I mean, gosh, we've reached the point where I'm asked, 5 times a week to promote something. I'm asked to promote 250 things a year, roughly, probably more like 200. I'm going to promote 12 things in a year, maybe 15. So I say no to most things. Smaller affiliates rarely get asked to promote anything. So they'll promote you more often because it becomes a source of revenue for them. Secondly, they usually don't have many internal product offerings. Same kind of thing, right? Like, we have 30 products. We have our coaching program, our mastermind. We have no product, no problem. Find affiliates now. No list, no problem. Turn your list into cash. 10K in 10 weeks. What else? We got the copywriting for affiliates course. We've got our swipe files and these templates, and we've got List Launch Challenge and List Launch Academy. And that's just 10 things I can think of off the top of my head that we have. There's probably another 20 products I'm not even thinking of. Smaller affiliates may only have 1 or none, so they have more time to promote you. And thirdly, again, that loyalty. When people are loyal to you, they will jump at every opportunity to promote you. Now, within reason, once I got to a certain level, could I have promoted Michael every month? No. Would I have promoted him twice a year? Yeah. I'd have promoted him twice a year. So we found that time and time again, the affiliates who jump at the opportunity to promote our clients, they're often the smallest, or at least they started off as the smallest. They started off as small, but now they're big. Reason number 8 is that they follow what you tell them. I touched on this earlier, but bigger affiliates, like they're set in their ways. They're going to do it a certain way, and this is how we've always done it. And I'm pretty good at marketing, so I'm going to kind of do my own thing. I'm that way. Like, I'll listen to somebody when they give me ideas, But generally speaking, I kind of map out the affiliate promo and do it the way I want to do it because I'm good at it. I think quite frankly, I think I know what I'm doing. So I do it kind of my own way. But a smaller affiliate's going to do it the way you say to do it. Sometimes they'll even just take a suggestion and they'll run with it. When I interviewed Michelle Caruana, that's the one I mentioned earlier, where she did almost $50,000 in sales with a tiny list. And she mentioned that she emailed 10 times in the last day. On cart close day, she sent 10 emails. And I'm like, why did you do that? That's crazy. She's like, because you said to. I'm like, no, I didn't. I said that one time I did, and I showed how. And she's like, yeah, and I thought it was a great idea. In a positive way, smaller affiliates almost take what you suggest. They take the calendar, they take your promo tips, your strategies, your ideas, they take them as gospel. And that's actually a good thing. It's a really good thing to have in affiliates. So they follow what you tell them. Number 9, I mentioned this earlier, but small affiliates grow. When someone has 100,000 people on their list, it's hard for them to double in size. They like, it happens at a glacial pace, right? It's just they're not going to double in size in 3 months. But a small affiliate could easily double their list size, like with one podcast interview. They could spend $100 on Facebook ads and double their list. And now their list is twice what it was when they started promoting you. But they still have the eagerness to learn. You still get the loyalty. They still have that open-mindedness, right? They're still like ready to, they're committed to promoting you, and they're going to promote you more often. And you get to benefit from their list growth. So what ends up happening is like you end up with a large number instead of a small number, a large number of committed, eager to learn partners who have those highly engaged lists that are growing, who promote you every single time. Like, it's clear that's what you want, right? You want to build an army of affiliates. And ultimately, it's a numbers game, right? You could have 3 affiliates with, say, 100,000 people on their list each. So that's, 300,000 people, 300,000 eyeballs. Or you could have, so it's 3 affiliates times 100,000. Okay, you could have 100 affiliates with just 1,000 people each who promote you. So by the way, those the 3 people with 100,000, they promote you one time. You could have 100 affiliates who have 1,000. That's equal. That's also 100,000. That's like one of your affiliates, but they promote you 6 times. So you get 600,000 swings of the bat versus 300,000. That's a huge difference. That's double. Like, that doesn't even count the fact their lists are more engaged. So the percentage of their people that are going to buy on those big lists is probably going to be, 1/10 of 1%. Maybe a little bit higher. Yeah, 1/10 of 1% would be about right. Upwards of maybe 1/5 of 1%. So 100 to 200 sales. The more engaged list, you might get 1 to 2% of their entire list to buy. You could literally, those 2 examples, 100 affiliates with a total of 100,000 people. So 100 affiliates with 1,000 people each versus 3 affiliates with 100,000 each. You could be talking the difference with the smaller affiliates selling 4 to 12 times as much. It's a pretty big difference, right? So if all of this, I've given you 9 reasons. If that's not enough to make you want to work with small affiliates, let me give you one more reason. And remember, if you want to look for these small affiliates, just check out the link I dropped there, mattmcwilliams.com/first100, mattmcwilliams.com/FIRST100. That last reason, small affiliates help you create an affiliate army. The reality is there are tens or even hundreds of times more small affiliates than large affiliates out there. In any given niche, there's only 10 to 20 people in your niche that could potentially move the needle, that have 100,000 plus people on their list that can make more than 200 sales. It's only, 10 or 20 of those people out there. There are literally thousands of small ones out there. And if you choose not to work with the small affiliates, you're passing up all the benefits, right? You're losing out on a massive impact that they can have. When you have hundreds of thousands hundreds of thousands. I have run programs like that. Adidas and Shutterfly come to mind. But when you have hundreds or thousands of affiliates, it creates a lot of buzz. Speaking of Shutterfly, I mean, we would run these we'd run these campaigns, and we'd get like 5,000 blog posts within an hour mentioning a coupon code. It felt like we were everywhere because we were literally everywhere. I have seen it so many times I've lost count. Hundreds or thousands of emails sent, posts are posted, the tweets are tweeted all in a matter of minutes. Like it's just like boom, boom, boom. It creates this unstoppable momentum, and customers feel the buzz because even though you only have, somebody might only have 1,000 people on their list, that person's also on 5 other, small affiliates list, and it's like you're everywhere. So it creates that buzz, right? Then you have more affiliates who want to join, like your sales start going up. When we did, think about like Michael Hyatt's campaign. We had 5,000, no, 1,532, 1,532 affiliates on the first day of the promotion, all emailing and posting. By day 5, we had 1,688. By the end of the launch, we had 1,744 affiliates. I mean, that's how we 4x'd his launch when we took over. The year before, they had like 30 affiliates who all were pretty big, and did some stuff. It was because we had those smaller affiliates, many of whom were doing their first ever affiliate promotion. So I encourage you, build your affiliate army. Do not pass up the chance to work with someone who could be one of your large affiliates one day, all right? Just because they're small right now. Somebody who's small right now could be huge in 2 years or 5 years. So remember these 10 reasons. Get out there and start recruiting your army today. If you want to learn how, just go to mattmcwilliams.com/first100. FIRST. mattmcwilliams.com. It says first 10 on the screen, so let's hide that. That's weird. Wonder why that is. mattmcwilliams.com/first100. Go check that out and get. Yeah, it's still going to do that. It's like cutting off the comment. Also, if you want to learn how to do all of this, like we were talking earlier, I was sharing about our coaching program and some of our clients. Check out youraffiliatelaunchcoach.com. Again, it's cutting off the last letter, at least on my end. Let's see if it does it here. Nope. Yeah, it still is. So add an M to what you see on your screen. I see it's like moving it down to the next line. It's like scrolling it. That's funny. Youraffiliatelaunchcoach.com. Go check that out. Apply. You and I will have a conversation, see if you're a good fit for our coaching program and if we can help you to build an army of affiliates. I got a message the other day from one of our clients, and we had a coaching call, and they sent out their first email to some prospective affiliates. She was like, well, we only got like 10 responses, or maybe it was less than that. It was like 7 or 8 responses. Like, that's not good. I'm like, I'm like trying to figure out. I'm like, I was kind of thinking you get like 100. And, these are all potentially small affiliates. They're students of theirs. That's exactly who we want, loyal affiliates, right? And I'm like, well, this is not going well. So I'm like, let me see the email. She opens the email, shows it up on her screen, and I see the reason why you didn't get it. She's like, oh yeah, our copywriter didn't follow your copy. Like, she didn't use the copy I gave her. We give our clients the exact email templates to use to recruit affiliates. And she's like, she didn't use it. I'm like, yeah, she didn't. So here's what you need to do. You need to give her, like, tell them, use this copy. It is proven to work. It took me a decade to figure it out, but I've perfected how to recruit affiliates. So just use the copy. They used the copy. She messaged me the next morning. We talked at 3:30 in the afternoon. She messages me at like 9 the next morning, says, we got 80 something responses or 70 something responses or whatever it was. It was a lot. Messaging me later today, we're at 150. They already had 150 affiliates who said, yep, I'm in. I want to sign up. I want to promote you. 150 loyal affiliates like that. each one of them makes even just one sale, it's a $1,500 course. If they average one sale, and that's actually going to be a little bit low, they'll probably average 1.5 to 2.5 per person. But let's just go with one. Whatever 150, not to mention they're going to get another 300. But they'll end up with like just those 150 they got in the first 24 hours. So I'll have to check my math, but I think 150 times 1,500. Let's see here. Yeah, $225,000 in sales. They'll easily triple that by getting more affiliates. They're gonna do 500,000 plus just from this army of affiliates. No big affiliates whatsoever. We don't even want them to have big affiliates right now because they need to ease into that. It's pretty cool. That's the power of small affiliates. So go check those links out. If you think you might be a good fit for our coaching program, click that link, apply, or youraffiliatelaunchcoach.com. Otherwise, your first or mattmcwilliams.com/first 100 to get your first 100 affiliates report. With that, we'll wrap up and I will see you guys soon. Thanks so much for being here. Bye-bye.